Hi. Up here. Hi, can you hear me all right? Back there, boys and girls? This is everybody here? I'll talk real loud for you. This is Kelty Pony who came to visit today. This one's Frosty. And there's two other ponies here today too, down tied to the trailer. The ponies are going to be here for 2 hours today. So for the first hour, we'll talk to these two ponies and you get to ride. And the second hour, we're going to use the other two. So if you see a favorite pony, you can adjust your schedule to ride the one that you want. Now, are these horses? No? What are they? Ponies. How can you tell? How? Smaller, that's right. Do you know how to measure them?
With your hands.
With your hands. Somebody knows, good. In the olden days, when they rode horses instead of having trucks, the cowboys didn't carry yardsticks with them. So they needed to measure their animals with whatever they had with them, so they used their hands. And a hand, when you're measuring a horse or a pony, is 4 inches. A lot bigger than my hand, but not bigger than a cowboy's hand. And when you measure them, you start at the ground. You're a little Kelty pony. You start right there, and you count your hands till you get to that spot. That spot's called the withers. And then you know how tall your animal is. You want to take a guess on Kelty Pony? What do you think? 20? Good. I'll tell you that the largest horse that I've ever seen is the one who tours around. Goliath is his name, and he's 19 hands. So I don't think Kelty's 20, but I wish he were, because then we could tour. So now what do you think? Goliath is, I couldn't reach his withers. He's up like that. What do you think? 20? We want him to be. And if he were, I don't think he'd have to be standing here at the library. 12 was a pretty good guess, and so is 11. I think that Kelty, when I measure him, I do use the equivalent, the barn equivalent of a yardstick, because my hands aren't the right size. But if I remember correctly, he's about 11'2" is the way they put it. 11 hands, 2 more inches. So right between 11 and 12. So those were really good guesses. Huh, Kelty Pony. A lot of people ask me how big they're going to be when they grow up. What's the answer to that? What?
Same size.
They already are.
Yes, good. We must be at the library. These are smart kids. These are grown-up ponies, and this is the size they are. They won't ever be any bigger. And horses are bigger, right? But they're a different breed. And one way you can think of it is think of your friend's dogs. If you have a friend with a big old black lab, they're about that big. And if you have a friend with maybe a little Pekingese dog, they're about that big. But they're both grown-up dogs, right? It's just, they are the size they are. Kelty Pony is a Shetland pony, and Frosty is a Welsh pony. And Frosty is a little bit taller, but not a lot. He's at about 12 hands. Now, most kids ask me about the colors too. I wrote the colors on the signs. You might have noticed that. We know that Kelty's brown, but if you're going to use the horse term, not you. What are you going to call this color? I bet you know, don't you? Anybody got a guess on Kelty's color? What do you think, sweetheart? Chestnut, you said it right, good. And chestnuts, I'm always kind of confused by that too. You see brown horses, and sometimes they're called bays, and sometimes they're called sorrels, and sometimes they're chestnuts, and sometimes they're called red duns, and they're all brown. But this chestnut is kind of yellowy brown. You see that? He has the nice light mane. Some chestnuts have a really light tail, a blonde tail too. His is not very blonde, but I have some like that are very blonde, bright chestnuts. When they're bay horses, they have a brown body like Kelty does, but the mane and the tail and their legs are black. Now, this pony is not even fair to ask you, because I don't know what to answer when somebody asks me what color he is. Frosty Pony has had 3 different names in his short lifetime. You guys are going to be jealous. Somebody gave me this pony. But he was very wild. So wild they couldn't catch him, and they said he ran around the pasture like a bullet. So his name was Bullet. They said if I could catch him, I could have him. So I caught him and brought him home, and he got to be a lot calmer and happier because he had friends with him. And we decided Bullet was not a good name. And it was winter time. So where now Frosty is, part of him's dark and part's light, right? So like this part right here was black, and this part was white, and that part was black, and so the big white spot on this side was white. So he was a what?
Pinto.
A pinto. He looked exactly like a pinto. He was a perfect pinto. He was a special kind of pinto, a fancy word that they use for pintos. He was a Tobiano because he had brown and black and white. And a friend of mine named him Patch because he had big patches of color. So we thought that was a good name until spring came. What happens to the ponies in the spring? You kids know? What? Tell me, honey.
They shed their hair.
They shed their winter hair out. I don't even need to give this talk, do I? No. Well, when he shed out the pinto, he became not all one color, but all of his body was about that color. He became a roan. He still had the cute black knees and the white socks, and he had a black tail. He is the kind of pinto that has two colors in his mane. His mane still had the white in it, but his body was just roan. And this was still, we hadn't owned him very long, and he wasn't very old, and I thought, well, maybe he's not a pinto. Maybe his name shouldn't be Patch. But he did have a lot of white in him, still like that. And it was the end of winter, and you'd walk out, and all of the ponies would have that kind of white on them because it was frost. So that's when we named him Frosty. But now he changes color every year. Sometimes he's a pinto, sometimes he's a roan, that's the in-between color, and sometimes he's that. We don't know what to call him. I think in a show ring they would call him a dilute pinto, lots of white. Now, who has a question about ponies that I can answer? Yes?
Do you know why they get scared of a lot of noises?
Yes, I do. I wish I knew what to do about it, but I do know why. If you've gone to school long enough, or you've been at the library enough, you know that there are animals that eat meat and animals that eat grass and grains. And the meat eaters are called predators, okay? And the grass and grain eaters are called prey. What are ponies? Prey. They don't eat meat. No hamburgers for these ponies. Prey animals have to be really careful because something might eat them. So ponies, horses, and others that eat grasses, they're pretty aware of what's going on around them. One way you can tell is when you look at a pony to see how far apart Kelty's eyes are. They're way over here. And then you look at human eyes, right there, huh? We're predators. He can see way behind him. He can see all around him. He doesn't see right here real well, but he's looking for the wolves. Now, we know there aren't any wolves, but Kelty doesn't know that. So when they jump away from something, from a noise or something fluttering at them, they're thinking, wolves, I'm gonna get eaten. And that's why they jump around like that. This morning we were given rides and the garbage truck came in, and the one who is the quietest, nicest pony went, ah, it's wolves. And we were in the married student housing commons. I don't think there's any wolves there, but you couldn't tell Murphy that. What was your question? There was another question right up in there. Yes, tell me, ask me.
How can you tell the difference on Frosty and the other ones?
How can I tell which one's which?
Yeah.
Usually I have them wear name tags, but we took them off today. Is that what you mean? How do I tell the difference when I just want to go out to catch one? These two don't look very much alike, do they?
Yeah, but when you hide them,
Yes.
did them have their name tags?
How did they get their names? No, they didn't have name tags then either. We named this one, and I told you all the reasons. Kelty Pony already had a name when we bought him. and that's why his name is Kelty. You are right about out in the pasture. We have 3 that look a lot alike, and I have trouble knowing which one's which until I'm up close to them.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, there we have 2 that are black, Molly and Murphy, and I have to be pretty close to them before I know which one's which.
So, those 2 down there.
Uh-huh.
How can you tell by the first one and
Frosty? Frosty is taller than the one with the white tail down there. That's Arrow Pony. Frosty's a lot taller, so I could tell that way too. Yes, ma'am?
And I can tell those 2 apart because one has a white tail and one has a black tail.
Of these 2, that's true. But there's another one at home, it's the exact same color as Arrow. In fact, it's Murphy's mother, but she's great big tanker girl. Her name is Jenny Craig. And so we can kind of tell those 2 apart just by size.
Okay, I suppose we should probably start
We
writing,
probably should start writing. And you know, you can ask me a question as you're riding along too. So you can save your
Do you
question
want
for
to
that.
explain what we're going to do with the helmets and how
Yeah.
we stand back? And
Yeah. Are you gonna, whose helmet?
I can.
Okay. Lynette is gonna help you with your helmets. Just like when you ride a bike nowadays, you wear a helmet. Equestrians, that's the fancy word for riding either ponies or horses, wear equestrian helmets. And they're specially made. They're not like your bike helmets. They come farther down on this part of your face because when you're up on a horse, you're up higher than when you're on your bike. All these helmets should fit snugly.
Okay.
We have all sizes. You've fitted helmets, right? And once Lynette and her helpers have put a helmet on you, then we're going to lift you up on the pony for a ride. You, boys and girls, there's a lot of you, and it's not going to be a real long ride, so we will get through all the riding, and we're going to be here a long time. What I usually say at a birthday party is we take the youngest first. Well, we take the birthday kid. Anybody's birthday today? Just about, huh?
Yeah.
Just about. Is it tomorrow?
2 days.
2 days, pretty close. My son's tomorrow, but he's old. He doesn't ride ponies. So then I usually say this, I hope this is all right with you kids. You will all get to ride. Is anybody 4? I bet there's a lot of 4-year-olds. Are there any 3-year-olds today?
I'm 4.
Good.
But only me.
Okay.
Are you 4?
Lynette,
Yeah.
Lynette's going to call out some ages, and we'll take you by ages
4-year-olds.
like that, or 3s. I think there's some 3s.
There's some 3s?
Anybody who's 3?
Only me.
Okay, 3-year-olds first.
And then keep helmeting, so every time we come in, that we can just put the next one on, and then we're a lot more efficient in our riding.
Is that the game? This one is this the littlest?
No, the littlest ones are the green ones, and you probably want to basically use those. That's another thing about going by age. Well, the helmets work out pretty well.
Okay.
Those 2 little green ones are really little.
Rides, you want to ask the parents, is it okay? The first couple of days.
I think Karen already mentioned that.
I did, but I'm going to mention it again. The MCAT people are going to film the first few riders, so don't send your kids up here if you don't want them to be on the... That one looks little, doesn't it?
Too little.
If you don't want them to be on TV, don't put them up here at the beginning. There you go. Oh,
Start doing the next one. Start doing the next one, yeah. Keep them going.
We have them the way a little. She said this one wasn't so little.
That is, the green ones are the little ones, and that looks like it'll go right on him, and it should.
Really, I should need to jam it on there, huh? Okay.
They go on. Snugger is better. Okay, ready, sweetheart?
Okay.
Hold my hand. Here we go. This is Wrangler Ava is going to take some of you, and Wrangler Susie the others. Ready, set, go. Here, you put your feet in stirrups.
More 4-year-olds? Let's see what we got.
Hold on tight. Okay. Say giddy up, Kelty pony.
All right.
I think your light might be on. Is it? Oh, good. Well, if it's still on, you don't have a dead battery yet. There you go. Good riding, honey. Okay, now turn our little Kelty pony around. Ava, stirrups. Stirrups. Oh, and ponies pee wherever they want. And we all wait. Oh, and these are all boy ponies. Yeah, well, we're on this subject. And boy ponies are called?
Does anybody know what a boy pony is called? They can have two names. A baby is called a colt. I heard somebody say that.
Grown-up ones. Most boy horses or ponies get fixed like you get your dogs fixed. And once they're fixed, they're called geldings. And so all four today are geldings. Okay, put your hand right here, sweetie, and I'm going to lift you down from there. You ready? There you go. And one of the ladies is going to help you with your helmet. And I'll take the next rider. Is it you?
These little guys are.
Come on, sweetheart. I'm going to lift you right up there. You ready? Oh, good jump. Thank you. That helped a lot. Let's put your foot in a stirrup and in.
This one's a little big on you.
Well, I think that might be the next smallest one of the
And Lynette, all of these helmets were just sprayed out. And I have the spray with me. In a while, we'd probably spray them all again.
All right. I know it's old enough.
Hold on the horn, sweetie, right there.
I like Frosty.
Frosty's, yeah. That was a funny story, huh? He kept changing color on us.